on the topic of I am not in charge. Please join me in welcoming Michael Somps.
Please raise your hand for those of you who are married. Okay, now keep your hand up if you think the husband is in charge. That's what I expect. That's what I expected. It's taken me a while to come to this realization that I am not in charge. It's come about experience by experience, day by day. But I know I am not in charge. Maybe it happened back when my wife convinced me that we needed to expand into my garage, create an extra bedroom for our daughter. Apparently, our two daughters couldn't sleep together. They needed their own bedrooms. This coming from a woman who grew up sleeping in the same room as her two brothers and her sister. Go figure. I'm not in charge. Or maybe it happened when my wife convinced me that we need a brand new couch. I thought the couch that we had was perfectly good. Shoot, my parents, they still have the same couch they had 40 years ago. Why did we need a new couch? But it really hit me about a week ago that I am not in charge. I'm going to go back, though, about 6 months, when one of my daughters asked me, "Daddy, why don't we have a doggy?" And then it began, the beginning of the end, a relentless effort to convince me to get a dog. Now, don't get me wrong, I like dogs, and some of you might know that I used to have a dog. I loved him to death. But at this point in my life, I'm just not ready to take on the extra responsibility of a dog. I've got work responsibilities, I've got family responsibilities, I've got to take care of the house. I don't want to take on the extra responsibility of a dog. Now, I held back on this pressure from my kids to get a dog with this. Kids, I thought I was really pretty clever here. Kids, okay, we can have a dog, but here's what you're going to have to do. You have to take care of the dog. You've got to feed the dog, you've got to play with the dog, you've got to walk the dog, and the kicker, you have to clean up after the dog. No, that was it. Problem solved. They don't want to take care of the dog. But little did I know that my wife had taken up the mantle there and was going to be pursuing this little idea. And then she started to push in subtle ways the need for us to get a dog. Like, didn't you grow up with a dog? I grew up with a dog. We love dogs. And isn't it a good learning experience to grow up, take responsibility for a dog? All of this was being pushed onto me, and I was realizing that things were spiraling out of control. This brings me up to about 2 weeks ago, when I discovered that my wife was looking for a shelter dog. She had found one on the internet. I didn't know that this was happening. She found a cute little dog, apparently, and was interested in it. But I also discovered that this dog was in Los Angeles. Los Angeles, no problem here. We can't get a dog in Los Angeles. And I felt very confident in this, and I thought I'd extend an olive branch to my wife. And I say, it's up to you. What do you want to do? Well, little did I know that that was the green light. My wife realized that going to Los Angeles to get a dog wasn't doable. But coincidence, just the stars aligned for her and my kids last Tuesday when my neighbor and his family came by my house with what? What do you think it was? A puppy. Oh, it was a cute little puppy. A Lhasa Apso. The kids fell in love with it. My wife fell in love with it. My neighbor's wife and my wife started talking. Discovered, well, there's more puppies. How about that? And the next day, last Wednesday, my my wife contacted this owner of the puppies and discovered there's a female puppy available, the last one. And things started spiraling more and more out of control. She started planning names with the girls. She started thinking of things that we needed for the dog. I'm back on my heels now. I'm like, slow down, you haven't even met this dog. You might not like the dog. It might bite, it might bark, it might be awful for our family. You need to at least go meet the dog before you decide to buy the dog. And by the way, you're leaving for Mexico in 2 weeks with the kids. Who's going to take care of the dog? Well, all of this fell on deaf ears, as you might imagine. Thursday rolls around. I walk in the door from work. I stepped in a puddle of pee. I've got a puppy. I told you, I am not in charge. For those of you guys out there who think that you are in charge, you'll eventually come to the realization that you are not in charge. I have a puppy.